Hi everyone, welcome to the intuitive card reading for the week of August 5th through 11th. Welcome, welcome. What do you guys need to know? Like this video, share this video with anybody that needs to hear the energies of the week. That's what this is all about. Using the same 3 card decks, I took away one. I took away the Angels and Ancestors deck. I'm feeling intuitively drawn to just these 3 decks. So no new decks. They are all shuffled, obviously, and I put them in a different order. But we'll only be using 3 decks this time. And I think that's it, guys. Comments down below, questions, feedback, like, share this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. All right, let's get into it, guys. Let's see what this week has to offer us. Retribution. Okay, so what do we need? Okay, so Retribution has like a few different things going on here. I sometimes think if it's I see it as like a back and forth. It's like reap what you sow kind of thing, or trying to retaliate is more of like a shadow version of this, or trying to get back what you lost. Can be kind of related to justice, but this is basically saying that we really just want something back for what we give. And so basically it's saying that, and we've kind of gotten this, I think, in the last week or so, about really starting to balance out. I think, if my memory serves correctly, which I wouldn't count on it, my memory is just not very good right now, but there's something about giving and taking, something along those lines. So it just feels like reaping what you sow definitely is more aligned with this energy for sure. So basically it's saying we need to even the score is a good way to put this. We need to even the playing field, right? So it's very funny because this is almost like, you guys know that card I use in the Wisdom or the Oracle deck, that is the advantageous energy. It's kind of like saying, like, enough with that, like being on even playing field. So all right, so what could this mean, and how could we kind of apply this to our lives, what this can mean for you guys? And by the way, I don't know if I said this, but this is the reading for the collective, which means a large majority of the general population. It's not broken down into our signs or anything like that. So this is pretty broad, but the way that it can mean for you guys out there is that we may need to even the playing field, like maybe make things a little bit more fair. How do I say this? Get on people's level, even the score. So basically it's kind of almost like about evening things out or understanding that. I don't know if that's the greatest way to put it. But it's really about making the playing field even. Okay. And again, well, not again, I don't think you actually said this. This isn't necessarily about revenge. Sometimes people see the Retribution card, and sometimes, yeah, it could get the energy, but it doesn't feel like that. So basically, Spirit is not saying, yes, you need to get revenge. This is just really about evening the playing field, basically. So having equal opportunity, I guess, is a good way to say it. You need equal opportunity, or you need to give somebody equal opportunity, or something along those lines. So get the playing field even, like finding your match is also like a good way to kind of put this, saying like we need to find we need to play on our level, right? So this can mean so many different things. I can't even think of like, I almost want to say this quote, but I'm not sure if this is going to resonate, but like basically it's saying like pick on your own size, pick on someone your own size. That's kind of what Spirit is saying here. It's like basically saying, like, not to say that we're picking on people or we're bullying people or something like that, because this is definitely not the bully archetype, but it's basically saying, like, get on your level and play at your level, basically, is what it's trying to say. So basically this can mean either thing. This can mean maybe you are in this advantageous energy, and maybe there might be a taking advantage of some kind, or you're below it and you're not necessarily seeing your potential. And we did get a potential card last week. So actually not last week, I think it was the monthly, excuse me. So, all right, I think I'm confusing you guys more, but I'm trying to explain it in a way that makes the most sense. It could go a bunch of different ways. Like I said, this is for the collective, but it really does feel like we're trying to even the score and play on the same level that match your level. And this could be energy, right? This could be saying, basically Spirit saying, match your vibration. Okay, and we all know what that means is basically becoming an energetic match for something. Okay, so we need that. All right, so let's keep going and see what else we get here. Action needed, not for you. We have gotten this so many times. This is about really understanding that what's not for you, leaving it behind. It's under action needed, and basically it's saying, yeah, you gotta let go of what doesn't serve you anymore, and what could be not for you is something that's not on your playing field. Okay, so those two can absolutely go together. And so I don't think there's too much more to say about this. Some cards are really straightforward. Sometimes the energy is really straightforward, but it's basically saying you have to leave what doesn't serve you anymore. And something tells me you guys know when some of you hear this, it clicks. Because we've been seeing it for a few weeks now. So definitely continue to wrap things up and let things go, whatever that process looks like for you. Issue, what issue do we have? Light, ability to give creative energy, practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. Love this. This is about problem solving, actually. So, but it's under issue. Okay, so basically it's saying that your ability to solve problems is going to be an issue. So we're either having something blocked in some type of way where we're not necessarily bringing to life our ideas, because that's what the engineer is basically we see it in our minds, we create it in our physical. We can see how the puzzle pieces fit together, etc., etc. We can design it the way that we want it, but it's under issue. So basically it's saying we're having issues doing that. I will say it might have something to do with this energy here, but again, we're only on 3 cards, so let me continue pulling. But there might be a lot of you guys out there just might have issues with just bringing your ideas, in physical form into, something that you can touch, something you can feel, something you can smell, like something right in front of you. So sometimes I say tangible thing. So it is an issue there, but I do want to say, like, it's right there. It's right there. Like, you can see it, but it's really hard. Like, something is preventing you guys from actually doing it. It could be divine timing. Maybe we'll get a divine timing kind of card going on here. Could be something else, but we'll see. But that definitely is coming through as far as a block goes. Challenge. Come to the edge. Okay. So this is about moving on and jumping off the cliff, coming to the edge. You're like really ready about to jump off. 3 + 6 = 9. 9 is ending energy, basically. So a lot of us are having trouble jumping off the cliff. We're having trouble pulling the trigger. We are having trouble getting something started that we or even finishing something, right? They're not for you. Like I said, we are having issues. It's under action needed now this week, okay? So it's basically saying we really need to let go and jump off that cliff, basically, and move on to something new. But we're afraid to kind of do that, and it's definitely challenging. And I use the word afraid. We don't have like a fear card quite yet, but we did get that for the month. So I definitely feel its presence here, and that was like kind of a pretty decently big theme in August if you guys didn't check out the monthly. But we are having issues jumping off the cliff, or having I hate the term pull the trigger, but I think you guys know what I mean. It's basically the final go around, right? Maybe you are been thinking about filing for divorce, and the final trigger is basically signing divorce papers or something like that, right? And so the fact that it's under challenge is going to it's going to be very challenging this week. It's still going to be challenging, but Spirit is still pushing us to the edge with the not for you and the come to the edge, okay? Change. What's actually changing? Okay, let's see. Storyteller, shadow, making up tales that harm each other. Okay. Guys, I just realized I picked a little bit out of order, but I'm going with it, and I've done this once before, is because I don't believe in coincidences. So we're going to just keep going. So these are a little bit out of order, but like I said, I was intuitively drawn to these 3 decks. I obviously was intuitively drawn to pick one of these cards, so we're going to go with it, okay? Just FYI. All right, the storyteller is in shadows. It's making up tales that harm others. Okay, so what's changing? Okay, so the narrative is changing. That's like a good way to put it. And the fact that it came up in the shadow, it says making up tales that harm others. Okay, so false stories about us, that's what's changing. So the narrative is changing about us. So this could be from our POV, our point of view, where we're saying, I'm going to change the narrative about myself. I'm going to change how I think about myself. I'm going to change how I talk about myself. I'm going to change the stories that I keep making up about myself, that I can't do this or I can't do that or whatever it actually is. Or this could be coming from an outside source where people are changing the narrative around you and what you can and can't do, about you and your life in general. Like, I'm just getting like this overall sense that people really don't know you, and they're finally starting, like, if you think of somebody in your life that maybe never really like understood you, or was even, this could even go in a nefarious direction, being like somebody was making stuff up about you, or they always had like a negative connotation about you. It's like changing, like something is changing how they view you. Again, it could be coming from our POV, our point of view, and that we're changing how we feel about ourselves, but again, could be from outside energy. So this is very interesting. So it's going to change, and I know it's not under surprise. Surprise is right here, and I wonder what will come through with this, but I don't think we see it coming, is a way that I can put it. It almost feels like it's kind of coming out of left field, but people, like, basically, if it is somebody that you never thought, would think a certain, stop thinking negatively about you or something like that, and now they see you in a more positive light or something like that, that might be a shock to you, obviously. It doesn't have to go from negative to positive. It could go from positive to negative as well. I do feel like it is more of a positive thing, so probably the former, but again, could be either. So, sorry guys, I have a dog park right outside my my apartment, and if you hear a dog barking, that is why, so I apologize. Okay, focus on courage. Yes, bravery. Like I said, there's no cards yet about fear or anything like that, but funny that courage comes up in the focus, where it's saying focus on your bravery, focus on your courage, focus on what on your confidence and how you feel. That has been a running theme as well, confidence, right? So we're really getting that confidence going, and really focus on being more brave and courageous and doing things that align with that energy more. All right, reflect, regeneration. Okay, reflect on what we can build back new. Either build back new or build back the same. That's what regeneration is all about. So I know a lot of you guys in the way of the tarot sometimes says have had a tower moment, or some kind of really, really negative thing that has brought you down. You guys know my story. I know some of your stories out there from reading from you guys from the last few years, reading your cards personally. But we're really building something back. So if you lost something, if you lost a house to a fire or something like that, God forbid, you could basically, it's saying you can rebuild that house either the same or better. The fact that it's under reflect, it's not actually physical though, right? So it's not actually about building the house. It's about imagining building the house, if that makes sense, or making the plan to build a house. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's coming in the physical, because it's under reflect. So this is about figuring out how you want to do it, right? How do you want to build the house? Do you want God, I don't know anything about building a house, but do you want it to be bricks? Do you want it to be another material? Sorry, not my specialty. But yeah, so that's what this is really all about. Okay, what do we got going on? All right, let's pull. Responsibilities, damsel. Okay, we have understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. Okay, so this is great. So this is about not relying on somebody to come save you. I know we've gotten the rescuer card here and there in the last couple of readings in a positive way. This one is basically about being more interdependent, not necessarily independent, interdependent. So if you're in a relationship, I know it's not a relationship card, but that's what's coming through. We'll see what comes through with the romantic connection. Is that we're doing more things on our own. We're maybe being braver, we're being more courageous, and we're doing things more for ourselves. Maybe we're just even putting ourselves first or something like that. And that's your responsibility this week, is to do that. So if something happens this week where you're waiting on somebody to give you a ride, or to come with you somewhere, or to tell you, to give you permission to do this, there's a way around it. That's what Spirit is saying. That's your responsibility, to figure out the way around it and the way to get it done on your own. That's what Spirit is saying here. Money and finances can also be career. Distraction. Okay, so I just feel this one is actually pretty straightforward. This one is saying there might be a distraction at work, a distraction of maybe another career prospect, a way to make money, etc., etc. I'll tell you the truth, it's not. There's a card in the Wisdom of the Oracle deck of all that glitters, and sometimes that's about, ooh, you know, it's not as good as it may seem. So watch out for the distraction. Not necessarily true here, but I would think twice, okay? Because this, like, discernment is coming through. Basically, it's saying really think about it, okay? How do I say this? They might just, you have to distinguish between and discern between opportunity versus a distraction. That's the best way I can kind of put it. Like, is it going to distract you from what you actually really want? So stay intentional too here, where it's saying, like, is this thing that's distracting you, is it going to get you where you need to go? Is it really just taking you away from the uncomfortable thing that you have to do to get to where you want to go, etc. So definitely feel like there's a distraction coming up, and again, it's not exactly all that glitters kind of vibe going on here, but just be careful of any distractions that come up in this area. Surprise, 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 surprise. Okay, observe. Okay, observer. So this is actually not necessarily this is about looking from the outside, kind of seeing like a different perspective, but like not necessarily being involved, okay? So the fact that it's under surprise, it's basically saying like you're not necessarily involved in something particularly. You're actually, like Spirit is saying, like you're taking a step back and you're observing it from the outside. So this can mean so many different things. This could mean that, I'll say this, I'm not sure again how it applies to each individual person, but please put it down below if it makes sense for you. If you're supposed to participate in something, you're gonna sit this one out, okay? Sitting this one out. That's what I'm getting, like almost like the Spirit is showing me like a baseball game and you're sitting in the sidelines. Not because you were cut from the team or you couldn't play, it's actually to your own fruition, it's to your own benefit, and it's from your own decision, basically. So I definitely do feel like you find yourself this week kind of sitting this one out, not being involved in a positive way that does positive things for you. And I think it's going to come to a surprise because you're always involved in whatever this particular thing is. Okay, wounded child in the shadow blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. Okay, so some wounds from the childhood, some childhood trauma and stuff like that may come up in some of our friendships this week, and it's in the shadows. So basically, Spirit is saying it's more so on you, meaning that it's affecting how you participate in your relationships. Not to say it's on you, meaning it's your fault or anything. God no. It's more so saying like it's going to be affecting you, and how you respond to it within those friend connections is your responsibility. So I definitely just think another way to say this is that I think your friends are going to be triggering you this week with certain things, and basically anytime you're triggered, Spirit shows us where we need extra healing. So I see it as a positive at the end of the day. Romantic connection, self-trust. Okay, so this is really about trust. I don't want to say this is more about you, because it says self-trust. It doesn't necessarily mean trust your partner. It's basically saying, can you trust yourself to pick the right partner, right? Or can you trust yourself to do X, Y, or Z? I don't know. But it's basically giving yourself extra trust this week, and really, I don't know how else to say this, but like I feel like there might be like a lot of like anxiety kind of coming on here in your romantic connections, in your relationships this week, but it's so important for you to trust. Hey, could be trusting your gut too, right? This is kind of what this means too. It's saying if something feels, off, then it most likely is. So trust your gut, trust yourself. What's important? Let's see. Yin. Okay, so yin is the feminine energy. So this is more about, this makes sense because we don't have a lot of doing cards, if you noticed. Okay, this is all about thinking about doing. This is about other people kind of showing up and having like a different version, a narrative about you, etc. So this makes sense to me. So it's saying important to tap into your feminine energy, and there's not too much more I can say about that. So a lot of being. Health and wellness, slave in the shadow, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Here's fear again, okay? like I said, I feel like it is a theme this month, but we're conquering it, and we're really we're really diving deep and getting to the root cause of the fear. And so you're afraid of making your own choices, giving your willpower to an external authority. Okay, this is what I'm saying. This might have something to do with the observer. This might have something to do with the damsel, but we are allowing too much of our power to get away and putting the decisions and willpower in another individual, in her health and wellness. Oh God, I can give you so many examples from my own healing journey. But what I will say again, there's the self-trust here. Yes, it's in your romantic connections here, but trust your gut too here on the health and wellness. That's what I have to say about that. Of course, take, any professional, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a spiritual teacher, whether it's a doctor of some kind, yes, take their stuff into, take their guidance into account, but, don't be afraid of making your own decisions, especially if it comes from intuition. And overall outcome, we have signal. Okay, so this is great because this is basically saying like, look out for signals, look out for signs. That's the best way I can kind of say it. So definitely spend time really looking out for it. We don't have any flow cards. We don't have any necessarily synchronicity cards. There's a serendipity card. This is basically saying look out for signs. Those could count for sure. I would look out for angel numbers. I would look out for things that just kind of fit and appear. Okay. I will say a lot of this stuff, we have some self stuff going on here in the corner, like our responsibility, our, that kind of thing. Like self-responsibility is like a good word to put, but like up here, it just feels like, it's almost like, especially with that storyteller, like again, it could go both ways. It could be what we're telling ourselves, that, changing the narrative about ourselves, but I definitely do feel like it's an outside circumstance, where, people are changing the narrative about us. So look out for signs around that. What else? But yeah, I think I would just look for signs is basically what Spirit is saying here. So, okay, guys, I'm trying not to make these like super long. I know the monthly was like 33 minutes, so I'm trying to get under 30 minutes. So hopefully I did this time. Guys, this looks like a great week. I see nothing that is a red flag. Sometimes I tell you guys if there's red flags. I see nothing here. Guys, have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. All right, bye, guys.